Welcome, everyone. All right, let's give Jenny Boo, how are you? All right, we're going to give it 2 more minutes and then we're going to start. Okay? Damien, if you could hear me, I believe I did everything correctly and we are recording and live on Facebook. So crossing fingers.
Sounds good. All right. Yeah, it looks like you're on. So
Wonderful.
good.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. Okie dokie. Welcome, everybody. Let's give it 1 more minute here, and then we'll start. I hope everyone has had a good start of the week so far. Tuesday, almost midweek. I don't know about you, but here in Chicago, it got cold very quickly. We missed fall entirely, and I already missed summer, but that's just me. All right, great. So we're gonna keep an eye out for those that are still signing on. But without further ado, let's begin. Step a little bit further back here so everyone could see me. Good. Okay. Welcome, everybody. Hello. Such a pleasure and privilege to be with you tonight. Another Tuesday of Dinner with the Doctors. For those of you who are new and it's your first time joining us, what a privilege. Thank you. Just so that you are aware, at Be Optimal, we offer these dinner with the doctors twice a month. On the second Tuesday of every month, we have Dr. Carrie and Dr. Abby that will speak of certain subjects. And every fourth Tuesday of every month, we're with the crazy JR. But anyways, dinner with the doctors is a way for us to share different techniques, different tools, different methods of attaining and maintaining an optimal state of being. And when we are in that optimal state, there's really little room for disharmony and unbalance. So when we are in that state, in that perfect state of wellness, there's no reason to have any dis-ease. Now, for those of you who have heard me before, I have mentioned quite a few times how disease is 2 words. Disease is broken down into 2 words, dis-ease, something that is no longer functioning in a state of ease. And that creates, has the possibility of creating biochemical reactions in the body, psychosomatic, visceral disorders in the body. In a state of dis-ease, something is no longer functioning at its peak, at its best, right? And we want our system, we want our body or our vehicle or our temple. You'll hear me call the body many words, but usually temple and vehicle are my 2 goals. But we want our system to work at its best so that we can live a life of ease. And when we are living in that state, well, everything just works in harmony. Correct communication within your various parts of your body, organ to organ, muscles, tendons, ligaments, bone, everything, the structure, the physical structure of the body is properly maintained. And our state of mind falls under the branch that we call calmness or peaceful. And we also reach this state of serenity, which allows us to experience our emotions as best as possible, but not allowing those emotions to control us. That is what serenity is. Serenity is observing, acknowledging our emotional state so that that emotion can pass and bring about new emotions. Many people think that serenity is this state where we do not get angry, we do not get sad, we don't have emotions. That's not correct. We are always emotional just because we are sentient beings. So, anyways, I'm going off subject, but these dinner with the doctors are a way for us to share tools or theories of being or inviting that state of wellness, that optimal state of wellness. So this is what we do, and it's always a pleasure to be with everyone. Today's topic is very dear to me. It's a lot of fun. It has to do with self-abdominal massage, and we're going to explain what it is, right? But we're also going to explain, excuse me, as I get comfortable, we're also going to explain why it's so important, why it's so important to have our abdomen be happy, right? When our abdomen is happy, well, guess what? Our organs are happy. And when our organs are happy, there's correct communication, there's correct circulation of all of your vital information, not just blood, but everything, right? Everything starts to function at its peak. And now we have a strong body, mind, and a great connection with our consciousness. So, anyways, today, self abdominal massage in in the West, mostly in the West, we're not accustomed to um, uh, having any communication with our solar plexus, with our abdominal region. In fact, uh, many of the massage therapy schools, they spend very little time, maybe 2 weeks or so, focusing on the abdomen because most people don't like to be touched in the abdominal region. And although understandable, because our abdomen, it's we want to cover it, we want to protect it because it carries our organs, right? But every now and then, it does need a little bit of loving. It does need a little bit of care, right? The reason behind it is because if you look at any medical paradigm, Western medicine, Chinese medicine, Ayurveda, any of them, they there is always a cause to a disharmony. There is always a reason to a state of dis-ease. Okay, and usually, well, there's only one of two reasons to why you would not be at your optimal state. One reason being that something within your system is in excess, meaning there is too much energy, there is too much information within this organ, for example. And when there is too much information, it's flooded. It's flooded. It can't function because it's choking, right? In a flood, the water gets to here. You're struggling to catch a breath. Well, when an organ is in excess and it's struggling because it has too much information within it, well, the other organs have to function that much harder in order to maintain uh, uh, your system um, from collapsing, essentially, right? The other half of that coin, one is excess. The other half of that coin is deficiency. When one of our organs is lacking something, it's lacking energy, it's lacking nutrition, it's lacking vital force, it's lacking something, well, guess what? It has to pull from the other organs in order to function because it's weak, it's frail, it's shy, it's shutting down. So, two main causes of disease: one is excess, one is deficiency. When we start um, building that rapport or that relationship with our abdomen, we can really learn to listen to what it has to say. And when we listen properly, when we have that ability, that sensitivity, that je ne sais quoi, we can actually feel where our body has, our abdomen has um, deficiency versus excess. For example, if I were to press anywhere on my abdomen, and it feels hard, it feels, how should I say, like it feels like a drum. Like you can't really go in. It's stuck there. There's like a little wall. Well, usually, I'm not gonna say in every case, but usually that has to do with an excess. There's too much information there. In other areas of the body, if I go in here and I go in and there's no resistance, well, that too can be an indication of a disharmony. In this case, most likely having to do with deficiency. When something is deficient, uh, there's no force, right? So you just sink in. Okay, so that is one of the reasons why we want to incorporate not a daily regime, but a regime nonetheless of a little bit of abdominal care so that we can again have correct circulation of your vital essence, of your vital information, and clear any excess or deficiencies that might be hindering our organs from functioning at their peak. Now, today, for today's purposes, we're not going to talk about exactly what point goes to what organ, considering that would take, a few more, a little bit more than an hour of our class. But we are going to end the class with a modified, simple version of abdominal massage that really, really influences the whole system. So that's going to be my gift to everyone towards the end. Let's continue. In various traditions of medicine, for example, in this case, in traditional Chinese medicine, we have an understanding that certain organs carry certain emotions. In fact, emotional theory is derived mostly from traditional Chinese medicine or classic Chinese medicine. I believe it's actually almost a common saying nowadays, even to those between people that are not in the healing field. Um, it's common to hear the expression the liver is angry, or the liver carries anger. Well, one, it's described this way simply because our liver in traditional Chinese medicine governs the circulation of our qi and our vital force, right? In Western medicine, it has to do with metabolizing and breaking down all of all of the information that we put within it. So it breaks down our food, our water. It breaks down also our thoughts and our emotions. It breaks it down so that we could either use use part of it as a form of nutrition, or expel it from our body. Okay. Why is this important? It's because if let's take the example of excess. There's too much information within the liver. Again, not just food and water, emotions or thoughts. All right, there's too much. The liver is stuck. All right. When something is stuck, it generates heat. There's accumulation, and things can't circulate and gets hotter and hotter and hotter. If you look at a fireplace, what is the nature of fire? It doesn't sink, to my knowledge, it doesn't sink to the floor. It rises, it goes upwards. So in this case, that heat that is developing from too much information within the liver, well, guess what? That also rises. And it rises upward until there's nowhere else to rise. And that's why we clench our jaw. We get red in the face, we get red eyes, we get angry, we get frustrated. So the expression that liver carries anger, well, yeah, that makes sense if you look at it in that way. Liver, we know in traditional Chinese medicine, we know the liver carries anger, frustration, irritability, irascibility. Okay, those are the main ones. Give another example is the heart. The heart carries the emotion of joy. Now, everyone wants to be joyful. Everyone wants to be happy. Everyone wants to be in that blissful state. But too much joy can also hinder the system. Too much joy in that rise of ecstasy, of bliss and everything, well, guess what? Too much joy can lead to mania. And now we are manic. So now that emotion of joy has become uh, a pathology within the body. It is a pathomechanism that brings about that state of dis-ease. So let's go through the 5 main emotions. And when I say 5 main emotions, it's because the 5 emotions are described with one word describing the emotion. Okay, that does not mean that the word that is used is the only word that applies to the organs. Okay, many other emotions can be put under the umbrella of these five emotions. Okay, one, heart carries joy. Spleen and our digestive system carries worry. Our lungs carry grief and sadness. Our kidneys carry fear. And our liver, as mentioned, carries anger. Okay? Joy, worry, grief, fear, anger. Those are the 5 main ones. There are other schools of thought that mention 7 emotions, because there are 2 additional emotions that have been added to the list, and one is pensiveness, which also is very close to worry, which goes into our digestive system. our, described as the spleen in Chinese medicine. But pensiveness is slightly different than worry. Pensiveness is the constant turning of the mental wheel. We're not able to stop it. We're not able to calm it. It's just it continues and continues. Many people that suffer sleep disorders, they have trouble falling asleep because the mind doesn't stop. They can't calm the mind. Okay, so pensiveness, similar to worry, but different. Worry, you can only worry about something in the future. You cannot worry about the past. Worry is future based. Pensiveness is a present, usually has to do with the presence. Okay. Second addition to the 7 emotions is fright. Similar to fear, fright also goes to the kidneys, but it's slightly different. Fear, you can be fearful of an object or a situation. You can't speak in public, or in my case, I have no, let's just flat out call it, I'm arachnophobic. I have a phobia of spiders. If I see a spider, I go running. Okay? That is fear. Fright is more sudden. Fright is what happens when someone pranks you, for example. Fright is that that uncontrollable reaction that tenses your body up to the point where the body can collapse. Yes, you can have the fright of death within you. Your body can collapse from having that sudden hit with fright. Okay, so those are 5 emotions, 7 emotions. Follow the school of thought that you would like. But why we speak of the emotions specifically regarding abdominal massage is because our gut, although our heart is here, our lungs are here, right? Our gut has allows for the proper digestion or for the proper processing or integration of our emotions. And as science is determining more and more, many of our current diseases in the medical field have an emotional component to them. In fact, in my work, um, I would go on the record and say that a good 85 to 90% of the diseases, the disharmonies that I see, that I treat, have to do solely with an emotion. Emotion are caused specifically by an emotion or emotions. Okay, so self-abdominal massage can allow your digestive system to process whatever emotion may be lodged, may be stuck somewhere, right? Because what is our digestive system? It's the processing of not only our food and water, our thoughts and emotions. So it allows us to process, use the material, and by material I mean everything from cellular metabolism to energy. Okay, I'm not going to go into details on that, but it either allows us to use the emotion to feed other aspects of our body, or allows us to expel the emotion so that we can essentially let it go. Okay? 5 main emotions can all be, I'm not gonna say treated, that's not the word. It can all be eased by the simple act of doing self-abdominal massage. Okay? We carry our organs, we carry, how do we say, emotional knots within our intestines. Sometimes, yes, there is a term called emotional constipation. When we are stuck and things aren't circulating as they should, well, guess what? We can't function because our digestive system is blocked, which creates knots. Okay, so this is one of the main reason to why I love doing abdominal massage, and it also allows us to be free of whatever we hold on to in chakra, in Ayurveda or in chakra systems. Our solar plexus has to do with the warrior, the conqueror. It's the character of the individual. It's the personality of the individual. It's the sun within us. Sun, the big yellow thing that's in the sky. It's the sun within us. Our solar plexus allows us the willpower and the ability to stand our ground. It is the animal within us, right? It is the ability for me to say, this is my phone. This is not yours, this is mine, right? So self-abdominal massage gets us in connection with our abdomen with our solar plexus gives rise to that confidence and security and ability to process uh, any and every external factor, right? Usually, usually it is said that um, even our thoughts and our emotions are all externally caused. Okay, we don't generate. It's not common for us to generate a certain emotion from within. Okay, in some pathologies, this is the case, but in most cases, um, usually it's an external influence that causes us to have a certain emotional reaction. So that is the main reason to why I use um, abdominal massage in my practice. It allows, excuse me, it also why I like to share how to do self-abdominal massage. Now, in when you get in connection with your belly, you can, as mentioned before, you can feel that excess or that deficiency. But if you don't really understand what that means or what that signifies, not a problem. Just bring your awareness to the connection of your hand within your abdomen region so that you can at least start building that sensitivity, building that ability to listen to what your abdomen has to say, because it represents your whole system. It represents the 5 emotions or 7 emotions. It represents your ability to digest uh, appropriately and digest life, right? And when the gut is happy, well, guess what? Life becomes easier because now Western sciences are becoming more conscious about 3 brains that we have within the system. We have 3 brains. One is the brain that's up here, right? One, our heart brain, and one, our gut. Okay, it is it is a known fact that there are more there is more life within our gut than the cells within our body. There is more life within our gut than living cells within our body. We have trillions, if I'm not mistaken, trillions of various life forms uh, within our gut. We have bacteria. We have colonies of bacteria that are good bacteria because that bacteria, when properly nourished, well, it gives us nourishment and it allows for the correct functioning of our digestive system. So imagine for those of you who have had a proper massage in your lives, how do you feel after your massage? Generally, you feel good. You feel, like everything is less tense. Everything feels comfortable. Everything feels, dare I say, at ease. Well, imagine giving yourself or gifting yourself a few minutes of self abdominal massage. Imagine what that does to the trillions, the colonies of bacteria that you have within your abdomen and your gut. It makes them happy. Same. So that is the power of um, abdominal massage. That is the power. Excuse me. I'm gonna grab a little bit of water. That is the power that we can influence when we allow ourselves to just give a little bit of tender love and care to our abdominal region. Excuse me. Now we went to the why it's important. We talked about various factors involving the gut. Now, how do you do it? How do you do it? Now, it is recommended that you have a basic knowledge of anatomy so that you can know where your organs are. Okay, that's a recommendation. Get an anatomy book, or go on Google and type human anatomy and just see where the organs are. Okay, start off with that. Once you know where the organs are, even if you don't, but once you know where the organs are, you can really target those various organs by pressing in and alleviating areas of tenderness within the uh, abdomen. In today's form, we are going to solely focus on the belly button. Why the belly button? The belly button is our source of nutrition when we are before we are born. It packs so much information. In fact, there is a method called Chinetsang that has to do with um, the correct or using the umbilicus or the belly button as a diagnostic method, depending on uh, the shape of the belly button, depending on if it's pulling one direction versus the other, can tell a practitioner, like myself in this case, what is going on within the body. And it's wonderful to see the differences, the differences of the belly button before and after you give it a little bit of tender loving care. So the belly button, it's oval, it's round. We're going to. I like using the imagery of a volcano. Okay, you are riding the edge of the volcano. In this case, this is what we're going to do. We're going to get in contact, get in connection with our belly button through the use of one or two fingers, get in connection with our belly button, and just feel where within the ridge, the outer lining of the belly button, where does it feel tight? Where does it feel like there can be a little bit more um, manipulation in order to untighten or de-stress that specific area around the belly button. So that's what we're going to do today. If we have enough time before the end of our dinner with the doctors at 8, then we will go into various other parts of the abdomen. But for now, just stick to the belly button. If you learn how to communicate with your belly button properly, you can really ease a lot of the disharmonies that your system may carry just by the belly button. That's how powerful it is. So, without further ado, I invite everybody to just find your belly button. Find your belly button. I'm going to bring this down slightly so that you can see. There we go. Oh, hello. All right. Find your belly button, and you can use one or two fingers. Usually, I recommend placing one finger above the other so that you could have a little bit more give in order to manipulate the superficial aspects of the body, so the superficial skin. In this type of abdominal massage, we are not digging in, okay? We're going to do a very slight superficial touch to the abdominal wall, okay? That's all we're gonna work with, okay? This method, actually I'll show you right now. This method, when you press when you press around the belly button, what you're going to do is just simple, like almost a slight jiggle, okay? You're going to move your finger left, right, up, down, and see wherever you feel that tightness, have the intention of breaking that tightness up, breaking it up and allowing this feeling in the area that you are working on, okay? But before we get there, when we bring, when we find our belly button, close your eyes. I invite everybody to close your eyes right now, okay? And bring your awareness to the connection between you and or your consciousness and your belly button. Okay? As you sit wherever you are sitting, you can do this laying down too, and feel your belly button. Close your eyes and take 3 deep breaths. Let's do that together. Take 3 deep breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth, in through the nose, out through the mouth. One more. Deep breath in through the nose. And exhale through the mouth. Keeping your eyes closed just for a few more seconds here. I would like everybody to set an intention, or as I like to call it, invite the sensory, the sense of the 5 senses, the sense of listening. Invite your ability to listen, to be right here, right now. Invite your ability to listen to be in connection to what you feel within your belly button. And as you become more connected to your belly button, see if you can determine what does your belly button have to tell you right now. Okay? What does it have to tell you? How does your belly button feel? Does it feel angry, frustrated? Does it feel sad? Does it feel stressed? Does it feel icky? Does it feel at ease? How does it feel? If you don't get an answer, that's perfectly fine. Just with practice, this becomes very easy. Okay? It's just like learning to play an instrument. You're building a relationship with your belly button. So, for those of you that got an answer, how does your belly feel? Now, in keeping that connection that you have with your center, with your belly button, you may open your eyes or you can keep them closed, however you wish. But I want you to bring your finger slightly upward to the upper ridge of the volcano, to the upper ridge. So basically, the belly button, let's say this is the belly button, we're going to the upper ridge. So you're gonna slightly be within that innermost ridge of the belly button, okay? This is the center. You want to be riding the edge, but not falling in, okay? Does that make sense? All right, perfect. So find that topmost ridge of the belly button and give it a little massage. Give it a slight circular movement with your finger. Okay? Give it a slight circular movement. Okay? See how it feels. It's not a big movement, okay? We're not doing the whole abdomen, just the belly button. How does that top ridge feel? And little by little, I want you to go clockwise. So clockwise facing you. Everything that is, when I mention clockwise, I'm talking about the clock is facing you. So in this case, you're going to go this way with your belly button. Okay. I know it looks like the opposite hands of the clock, but you're going clockwise facing you. Okay. Go around the ridge and ride the edge of that volcano of your belly button all the way down from left downward to right and back up again. Okay. I just want you to do this once and see how you feel. Okay. Now, the second time around, I want you to bring about a little bit more sensitivity to your finger and see if you can feel the difference or differences in the quality of the edge of the belly button. Where does it feel tight versus where does it feel, looser, I guess, right? See if you can determine those two factors. Where does it feel tight, all right, like a drum, and where does it feel loose? And you could do this 3-4 times over, just so that you could build this rapport. Okay. When you're ready, we're going to go ever so slowly from the top ridge. Again, clockwise direction facing you. You're going to go down, and wherever you feel that tightness, where it's hard, that edge is hard, I want you to just jiggle. I know we don't like the term jiggle, especially in reference to the belly, but jiggle it, okay? Very lightly jiggle it. Because why jiggle? Jiggling sends a wave of information deep within the body. So by just doing this simple jiggle, right? This little jiggle, fast or slow, this little jiggle along the lining of the interior wall of the belly button will send direct information to the organ system that it correlates to. Again, we're not going to go to what side correlates to what, okay? But if you think of a quadrant, like if you think of a quadrant with two lines, one down the middle, one from side to side in the belly button, that center, well, we have 4 quadrants, right? Within the quadrants, you have your organs. And this is why a basic knowledge of human anatomy can be beneficial. But as you go down, or excuse me, as you go around the belly button wall, where there is tightness, do that jiggle. See if you can, even if you take 2 fingers and separate, I don't know if you can see me properly, but separate, essentially pull in opposite direction that area of the abdominal wall, the belly button wall, you'll notice that in a very short time, that area that was tight or that area that was felt hard, right? It's going to loosen up. Okay, and that's what I want you to do all around your belly button, all around just all around that volcano. Okay. When you do the actual jiggling, you could do it clockwise, you could do it counterclockwise. See what works better for you. Okay, there is it is knowledge of what going clockwise versus counterclockwise does. We're not going to go into that. I want you to play, since you're building this rapport with your abdomen, in this case your belly button. I want you to play. Try the different methods, clockwise or counterclockwise, and see what brings about that loosening the best. Okay, one area of the ridge, one area of the edge of the volcano might be might unclench and untighten more so if you massage or jiggle in a clockwise direction, and another might do it in a clockwise direction. Okay, this is not a problem. I just want you to again develop that sensitivity, okay, and that rapport, that relationship with just your belly button. Okay, there we go. Good. I'm on the bottom ridge of the belly button. Okay, you don't have to, if you're past that or before that, that's fine. Just so that we are all kind of in the same junction, in the same area. Okay, perfect. So going back upward towards the uppermost ridge of your belly button. Okay, there we go. Now that we've done that, now I want you to go around the belly button one more time, okay, and see if you notice the differences. See if you notice a difference within the belly button wall. Does it feel looser after you just went one rotation around it? It should. Okay. If not, you just need a little bit more time in that area. Okay. Go around. I'm going to do this a little bit faster here. There we go. Wherever there's a little bit more, still a little tightness, do that jiggle method. Okay. Upward, back to the top ridge of the belly button. Now that we've done, now the explanation was a little bit longer, but the actual action that we just took can be done 30 seconds, a minute, 2 minutes. Okay. Now bring your finger in this case back to the center of the belly button. I invite you to close your eyes again and see how your belly button feels. Ask your belly button, how do you feel now? See if there's a change to how it describes itself to you. Before, maybe it was frustrated, irritated. Now it might be a little bit more calmer. Maybe it's this cozy sensation. Maybe you had a little bit of anxiety or worry. Maybe that has subsided. If it hasn't, you've done nothing wrong. Don't worry. You just need to do a little bit, take a little bit more time massaging the belly button wall. Okay, so don't worry. But usually, within seconds of doing this, 1 or 2 rotations, clockwise direction, again facing you, of massaging your belly button packs a huge punch. It can really undo, excuse me, that icky state, that icky emotional state that we may be in. Imagine just a belly button, okay? And it takes seconds to do, maybe a minute or 2. Okay, if you if you incorporate this as a regime for your proper maintenance, so that you can either reach and attain an optimal state, or maintain that state, that optimal state that you might be in. This is huge. It's a huge factor. And if you want to do a little bit, 30 seconds every day, that would be huge in a general sense of the word, just because we would allow our system, our being, to properly process, integrate, and let go of those emotional factors that, again, as mentioned before, have a direct correlation or can be a direct cause of your state of dis-ease. Okay? If you don't have time to do this every day, then at least, please, do this a couple times a week, 2-3 times a week, beginning, middle, and end of the week. If you allow yourself that gift, I guarantee, it is a promise that you will alleviate whatever state of dis-ease or disharmony that you might find yourself in. Okay, and even for those that are in an optimal state of wellness and health, you know, life has ways of throwing us a curveball. Life has ways. You might trip over a pebble, and suddenly the little tiny pebble becomes the factor of all of your pain, frustration, anger for the day. So, needless to say, attaining that optimal state is one thing. Maintaining it is the key point, and a great way to do that is just by using uh, our ability to touch and listen to in our connection to just our belly button. Okay. Now, if you felt good after a few, what did we do, 2-3 rounds of um, massaging the belly button wall. Now imagine what uh, massaging the whole entire abdomen. Imagine what it can bring about. You can do this. You can have the same effect just massaging the belly button wall, but imagine if the emotion is deeply rooted, deeply rooted. Okay, let's take the example of anger. If that anger and frustration, irritability, irascibility is deeply anchored within your system, well, imagine again knowing that the liver carries those carries anger. Imagine what you can do if you apply a little bit of pressure underneath the rib, where the lower um, lower liver can be attained. Imagine what you can do to that deeply rooted anger. You can aid yourself in clearing that, and you don't have to wake up every morning, like grouchy. You could actually let go of that um, angry state and give rise to the ability to feel other emotions. Okay. One last thing I want to mention is never try to turn off your emotions. Never push your emotions away. Don't think of your emotions as hindrances or hindering. Your emotions are what make you you. We are sentient beings. We are meant to feel everything, not feel everything. Okay? There is a term called psychosomatic visceral pain. Well, yes, our psyche, aka our thought processes or our emotions, can have a uh, physiological manifestation of dis-ease. Okay? Emotional pain is real. It is fact. In fact, most of the time, if you clear the emotion, the pain goes away. Mm-hmm. So, anyways, the invitation here is to uh, help yourself help yourself, help your system, help you process the emotions that might be blocked so that you can work in a state of ease, in a state of clarity, with calmness of heart, with pausing of the mind. All of that can be done just with the technique that we have just done today. Okay. In a future, excuse me, in a future dinner with the docs, I will go. I will explain how to massage the whole entire abdomen. But just start off with building that rapport, that relationship with just your belly button, because everything starts from here. If you have this technique down, that little jiggle that you did to release that tension from just the lining of the belly button sends a wave of information. If you do it up here, guess what? It goes up to the upper right quadrant, and that is your liver and gallbladder, right? By just influencing that top right corner or angle of the umbilicus of the belly button, can really influence the actual organ itself. That is the power of the belly button. So that is my invitation. That is, I hope, I hope you can use it to your advantage. I hope you can learn to build that rapport with your belly button. At least that, in order to aid you and assist you in living an optimal life. When our system is optimal, our life is optimal. First comes interior. First comes the inside, then comes the outside. All right, it is 7:59. Ladies and gentlemen, always a privilege, always a pleasure. Join us next dinner with the docs is the second Tuesday of November, excuse me. And I will see you again, fourth Tuesday of November. Thank you, everybody. Good night. Let me see if there are any questions here. I'm sorry, I was on, I was tapped in there, and I did not check on the questions. Is this a specific direction one should massage the abdomen? Always clockwise. Always clockwise. Think of your digestive system. You know, all fecal matter, large intestine goes up the right, across, and then down the left to be expelled from the body. So always clockwise. Okay. I think that is it. All right. Thanks, everybody. Have a great night. Bye-bye. Let's see here. There we go.
And then just and hey there, and the recording and the live for Facebook.
Yeah. I'm doing Instagram here real quick. You know, I can't do two things at once. Here we go. Perfect. I wish I could type faster on my tablet. Sorry. There we go. Okie dokie. Let's see here. Let's end. Oh, Facebook. All right. Let's end the recording.